Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Bowl TV. My name is Matt Canizaro, and you have tuned in for an awesome evening here of coverage from the 2021 PWBA Hall of Fame Classic at the ITRC in Arlington, Texas. It's the final event of the Kickoff Classic Series, and I don't really know if I'm more excited now about the amazing Stepladder coming up tonight or the pregame show. It is star-studded for sure. We've got a quartet of Hall of Famers. They've been designated the dominant players of their generations. Together, they have approximately 100 PWBA Tour titles. Their places in history earned them each the designation of the players of their decades. I cannot wait to bring them in for the pregame show. We've got the bowler of the 70s, Betty Morris, the bowler of the 80s, Lisa Wagner, the bowler of the 90s, Wendy McPherson, and the bowler of the first decade of the 2000s, Carolyn Doran Ballard. They're going to join us to share some thoughts about their time under the TV lights, the pressures of being on the PWBA Tour, and, of course, some thoughts on tonight's finalists for the PWBA Hall of Fame Classic. We'll have all that in just a moment, and also would like to introduce the world-famous podcaster and bowling analyst Tony Franklin, who will be here to run the gauntlet with these ladies before we get going tonight. He'll be joined on the show tonight by Carolyn Doran Ballard and Aaron Smith. They'll have all the action for you as things unfold from the ITRC. I cannot wait to hear what all of these lovely ladies have to say about their time in the spotlight, but that's enough about me. Let's get to it. I'm going to sit back and let Tony Franklin take over and bring in all of our Hall of Famers.
All right. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it. We'll go ahead and bring in all of our group here and we'll get started. So we are missing Lisa Wagner. We're hoping to get her on, some technical challenge, but we'll hope to get her on here shortly. And Matt, as he said, this group has almost 100 titles. So what you're looking at right now is truly the Mount Rushmore of ladies professional bowling. I heard a comment earlier today from Jason Thomas who said this group right here has about 80% of every professional tournament that's ever been won. So that right there in its own right is amazing. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at all of my idols growing up, so it's pretty cool for me too. So let's go ahead and get started. We want to get to the talent here. So Betty, we're going to start with you. You were a trailblazer, a pioneer in bowling. And I read a quote from you where you mentioned how you were so proud to be able to have bowled really at the highlight of professional bowling, whether men's or women's, and how much that meant to you. 17 titles, 3-time player of the year. And just, for the role that you played in making it possible for bowlers to follow you, everybody on this group, and then everyone who's out there bowling tonight. So what does it really mean to you, or what do you think about the incredible progress 50 years later from the 70s that we're still bowling and bowling for great prize funds with great talent?
Well, I think it's just tremendous, and I've really enjoyed watching the bowling and getting to root for some of the players. They're all so individual, and it's so great that there's so many of them from all over the world. It's really being bowling back in the spotlight, especially for women, and it's a big help for colleges everywhere and recruiting bowlers, and I just think it's fantastic, and the prize funds are great, and I look forward to a really good future for women's sports.
Yeah, and that's an amazing piece, right? The bowlers from all over the globe. When you were bowling, did you bowl very much against women from other countries?
We had bowlers that came from Japan mainly. Keo Kasuda, I think she eventually won the Queen's tournament, but they did not bowl week after week. They would come over for select tournaments, so it wasn't bowlers that would bowl on the tour. And it's really great that the tour is promoting enough tournaments that they're able to come over and bowl.
Yeah, and you mentioned coming over from Japan, so let's go ahead and ask our next question to Miss Wendy McPherson, right? I believe she has about 10 Japanese professional titles, so she went the other way to pick up some extra scratch. But Wendy, we have a really amazing story this week. It's Jillian Martin. She's 16 years old. You happen to hold a record that was challenged just a few days ago and will be challenged once again. So could you tell us exactly how an 18-year-old high school student wins the U.S. Open so many years ago for that record? How did you do that?
I don't know. I don't know. I look back and I remember Pat Costello said to me, she says, Wendy, one day you'll realize what you did. And sometimes I think youth allows you to be naive in a lot of situations, which tends to, calm your nerves type of thing. But it was one of the greatest things that had ever happened to me. And, it was a, little did I know it was a turning point, and because it actually taught me how to win and want to win. And right out of the gates, first tournament ever, I won and I want to win. And it's a great feeling, and I couldn't imagine what Jillian's feeling, and I'm so happy for her. And it's absolute proof that anyone can do it, and it's exciting. I mean, who's to say a 15-year-old or a 14-year-old won't be next? The sport, the kids, I quote unquote kids, because I think everyone's kids to us now. But the kids are better and better. I mean, the youth, the talent in the youths divisions, and you see it a lot in SYC events, and the youth in junior gold. The youth is unbelievable now, and it's really a fun thing to watch.
Yeah, I think that's really the story there, is all of the youth bowling and the different events, college bowling, high school bowling, it goes on. And I think it does lead to that. When I was bowling, there was no high school bowling. College wasn't nearly to the level that it is today. So I think it's great. Maybe it is a lot of the opportunities. And for you, you really have set the pace for a lot of things. You have 20 titles, the first lady professional win over $1 million. You won 120,000 for shooting 300 on TV in Japan. I mean, there's so many of those records that you hold. Is there any one that's maybe more special than another?
Oh, wow. I've always looked back. I have 3 equal. I have my US Open in 1986. Again, it set the tone for my career, I think. Yeah. I have the Samstown at the end of 99, 2000 to allow me to be bowler of the decade for the 90s. And one of the other greatest things ever was my USBC Eagle for the singles event. Those were 3 equal things that choke me up, because it was, if I never do another thing, which I haven't been bowling much. If I never do another thing, those 3 I'm so proud of.
Yeah, I failed to mention the Eagle, which is as impressive as anything in there. It's a 3-game sprint, and you only have to beat about 50,000 bowlers, and you did it. I mean, that's again just an amazing accomplishment.
Yeah, it's a dream come true, Tony. Absolutely.
So Carolyn, last certainly not least, the bowler of the 2000s, and just someone I've looked up to and been enamored with my entire life.
Yeah,
yeah, right. No, it's true. 20 titles. Again, you've done it all. Player of the Year 2 times. You look at those that came before you and paved the way. This panel, our Mount Rushmore right here, and you mentioned on the show today on the live stream just about your fierce nature and aggressiveness, and what types of attributes did you learn from some of the ladies that came before you and the ones you bowled against when you were really up and coming before you got to be the Player of the Year? What were some of those things that you really learned from them?
Well, number one, I mean, there's so many common things between, the difference between great and good, and looking at the 2 ladies on the screen, hard work, practice, a good ethic, on and off the lanes. Those were the things that you knew you had to have to get you to the next level. And both ladies have said something it answers your question. So Betty did not bowl much when I first started coming out, but every time I saw Betty, she was kind, she was helpful. She told you some old stories. That's mentoring. She could have just passed me right by. Wendy, she was the one that was your friend on and off the lanes. We got to talk about things, but she was the one that pushed you to want to be better because she kept winning. So these were all things that I think equal where when we bowled on tour, we talk a lot about, yeah, there were a lot of maybe rivalries on the lanes, but when we were off the lanes, there were so many friendships. And again, I didn't get to bowl with Betty very much, but I would see her come to the Queens, or I'd see her come to the US Open. It was like she was one of my friends. I mean, I think that says a lot about a person. So Wendy mentioned Pat Costello, another great Hall of Famer. I remember meeting Pat Costello, and again, I'm bowling my first Queens event in Florida, and I'm bowling next to Pat Costello. She couldn't have been nicer. So again, it was about that, watching how these wonderful champions before me mentored and how they treated the up and coming people. And that to us meant, you know what? Now it was our job. And that it all comes together, and there's a reason why we all still keep in touch, or when we see each other, it's like no time has passed. I think it's like passing of the baton. And I think it's our job to mentor the younger bowlers and make sure they know what to expect and how to feel and where they can go for help. Because without doing that, if Betty didn't speak to me, with Wendy running towards your friendship, I don't know, maybe I wouldn't be giving back to bowling the way I am. Yeah. So I think it all has a chain reaction, and it's because of where it started that we all still feel the way we do about bowling.
Yeah, that's a great point, right? And now you're the one paying it forward with all your, the kids that you're mentoring. That's it. Bowling truly is the sport of paying it forward. So one of the things Carolyn and I talked about tonight was on the show tonight, we've got 3 players who have never won a PWBA title before. So Betty, how did you battle the nerves of trying to get that first title or that second title when you made TV shows? How did you do it?
Well, basically, I think it was just learning to breathe, because I think if you forget to breathe, sometimes you just do things without thinking. And so it was, for me, it was to take deep breaths and to imagine a good outcome, and a little praying in there too.
That never hurt anything, right?
Yeah.
There, right?
Yeah.
Were you a nervous bowler? Did you get nervous or more excited?
You know, I got nervous and excited, and if I didn't, I knew it wasn't going to be good, because it really meant a lot to me. And and I like to echo what Carolyn said, because I remember somebody asked me just 2 days ago about bowling on tour, and how was it with the older bowlers or whatever, and somebody mentioned Dave Sutar, and then the topic came up, and they asked me about Judy, and I remember telling him, and I'll keep this really brief, is that Judy, they said, did she help me? Well, my goodness, when I first came out on tour, I threw a conventional bowling ball. Her and Gloria Beauvais took me in a pro shop, my first tournament, and had the pro shop drill me a fingertip grip. I'll never forget that. It was not something they had to do. It was something they wanted to do, because that's the way the bowlers are. That's the way the women's tour was.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That's a great story.
Hey, Wendy, same question to you. I mean, you won the first tournament really that you ever bowled, so I guess it's super easy to get out there and do it, right?
Yeah, no. Well, I'm telling you, what you know now makes it harder. And the more naive you are, the easier it is, I think. And Betty hit it right on the nail, is that if you don't have butterflies, my niece always talked about grasshoppers in her stomach. If you don't have those, I don't think you're real, and I don't think you have a chance. I think you have to have it to be a champion. I definitely do. So
was there maybe 1 or 2 professionals that helped you, mentor you a little bit when you first came out?
Oh, absolutely. I came out, my mother came with me my very first stop. And, I was quickly, as Carolyn said, rookies were quickly helped along. And there was utmost respect. It was always Miss Betty, Miss Judy, Miss Lori. You always told your opponent, the ones that bowled really well, you always told them great bowling. I think that lacks a lot nowadays. You'll have a great day and people will walk right by you and never even acknowledge you. And I think that's horrible. But anyways, we were mentored by Betty, by Judy, Lori Nichols, Leila Wagner, Pat Costello. They were what we wanted to be. Dana Miller Mackey, you saw her. Alita Sell, saw her on TV all the time. I started at the beginning of ESPN. I used to sit home in high school and watch live TV events, and I wanted to be just like them. And they always were respectful, and they taught you grace, I think.
That's great. Well, as sad as this is, I'm afraid that we've really run out of time for today. I believe what this has done is only energize this group to have our Mount Rushmore back again very soon. So there's so much to cover and so many interesting things because again, with USBC and Bowl TV, we want to make sure we don't lose sight of the past and continue to put that right in front of us. So for the panelists, thank you so much for joining us today. I wish we had another 6 hours. We could sit here and just talk bowling. So I think that's going to do it. I'm going to let Aaron take us out. Wendy, Betty, Carolyn, thank you all so much.
Thank you.
We'll
Thank
talk to you guys
you.
soon.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, Betty. Bye, Carolyn. Bye, Aaron.
Bye.
Bye, Matt.
Bye.
Thanks, ladies.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, everybody. What an amazing moment. Tony, thank you for moderating there. That was excellent. A phenomenal discussion before we get going. But it's time. Stepladder Finals is here for the PWBA Hall of Fame Classic, folks. We've had this on Facebook, but it's time to head over to bowltv.com. You still got time to get your subscription to watch the live Stepladder Finals. Carolyn and Tony are going to call the action. We're going to be there. It's going to be awesome. And we're giving away prizes, too. So head on over. We're closing up, but we'll be back on the lanes on Bowl TV in just a moment, folks. So thank you again. And remember, on Bowl TV, bowling lives here.
Oh, my goodness. And there it is. Wow, get the pin to go.
All right, everybody, we are back here on bowltv.com. It is time for the Stepladder Finals of the PWBA Hall of Fame Classic at the ITRC in Arlington, Texas. 5 great competitors, as Tony said a little bit earlier, 3 going for their first career title. It's going to be an exciting final on this 41-foot pattern. Tony, we just got a couple of minutes left as they wrap up practice. We'll go to the lanes as well. But what are you looking forward to most here?
Well, we're going to go for history one more time, right? We've got Jillian Martin as the number 2 seed, and that really is the story of the week and the story of the day. But we've got, for the first time in a long time, a lack of titles on the show. So your top 5 is number 5 seed Dasha Kovalova against Julia Bond. The winner of that gets Erin McCarthy. The winner of that gets our 16-year-old Jillian Martin, followed by Lindsay Boomershine. Out of that group, we only have 2 with the title, Erin McCarthy and Dasha Kovalova. So I think the really great story is we've got an excellent chance to crown a brand new champion today.
I would certainly agree. It's going to be very exciting to see how those players handle the pressure. We talked a lot about Lindsay and kind of the advances she's made in her game. She's been in this position before and has had struggles. So, Carolyn, from everything we've seen this week, do you think Lindsay is ready to make the next step and put herself in position to win her first career title?
Well, I do. I think she is. I definitely think she is ready because of what she did to prepare for this event. Like I mentioned earlier today, she really refocused, regrouped, looking at the 2020 season, which didn't happen. He has taken that a step further, had more time to really focus on that mental aspect and making sure that she processes what she's doing and doesn't get ahead of herself. And you could see that by the way she bowled in this event. She almost let it wire to wire. I mean, she never let down. She was winning matches with 190s, 180s. She was winning matches with 240s. That only increased that spirit in her to make this her week.
She put together an incredible 19-5 record to earn the top seed. We've talked about Jillian Martin, the 2 seed. Erin McCarthy making her second Stepladder finals appearance here at the Kickoff Classic Series as well, the 3 seed. But our opening match, Julia Bond, the 3-time regional winner, versus Dasha Kovalova, the breakout star of the 2019 season, a Queens champion, shot a 300 on TV to win in Louisville. It's going to be a great way to kick off the start of the event with 2 players with a ton of young talent.
For sure. And, you know, Carolyn, just to add on that, I thought Lindsay said a really cool thing in the post match play booth there. She said she hopes to finally be free. And that was really all she said, right? So what's on her mind is getting the victory and just moving past that. So I just thought the way she said that was someone it's winning is on her mind, and she showed it that she was ready for today. So I think she's going to be tough to beat.
All right, everybody. Looks like lanes are turning on. It's time to head into our opening match. Julia Bond taking on Dasha Kovalova. So Tony and Carolyn are going to take it away. We're going to go off the screen for a second. But, folks, enjoy the Stepladder Finals, match number 1 here at the 2021 PWBA Hall of Fame Classic.
All right. So, Carolyn, I wonder if lane 9 is going to be tighter again like it was the other night.
I thought about that. You know, it's been consistent with all of the patterns that right lane tends to break down a little bit earlier, cause the girls to actually shift off of where they were playing them. So it'll be interesting to see. I thought this pattern actually broke down close to the last pattern.
Yeah, I think the expectation was this was definitely going to be a much more challenging pattern. And the scores were all over the place. And I think that's what we're going to see tonight as well. I don't think it's going to take a whole lot to win most of the matches. I think from what you saw during the week and from talking to our lane maintenance guru, 2 or 3 or 4 frames look great. Then you're lost for a couple of frames. So that's probably what we're going to see starting out tonight. We'll see how they break down. All right, so Julia underway with a bit of a miss to start. The first shot's never easy, and we talked about nerves a lot with our group of Hall of Famers. So we'll see how all that works out for everybody. Dasha definitely has the advantage on experience. Oh, it looks pretty good.
That looked good when she let it go. One of the strengths for Julia, especially talking with Matt, and from when I watched her bowl for this event only, she really shut down her angles, and she's very good at that because she doesn't try to make that jump left too quick. Even though she gets normally around it and has a little more axis rotation, she still rolls it off of her hand. So getting in at times, she feels her carry suffers just a little bit.
There we go with the nice trip of the 4. From the other show, if anyone recalls, I do love a good trip 4, so that will always bring a smile to my face. Forget a flush strike. Those are boring.
As we get ready for Dasha's second shot, folks, be sure to visit shoppwba.com because the PWBA Ladies Full Zip Jacket is back in stock at a special price of $50 for a limited time. Get yours today and pick up additional merchandise at shoppwba.com.
So as we get into this tonight, Carolyn, I know you and I are going to talk probably repeatedly about the number of games that all of our professionals bowled this week. So I did some math. I had to break out the calculator, very strong computers to help me do some calculations. But for anyone who bowled all of the games, not counting the TV show, it's 66 games. You take the 66 games, and then you throw on what I figured was probably about 4 hours of practice individually within practice before the squads, the 2 designated practice times, which, hey, if you're going to go out and practice, everyone knows they're just going to be out there and chunking shots as fast as you can. You could bowl 4 or 5 games in an hour. So
Right.
these folks have probably bowled close to 90 games in 6 days.
Right.
Just an amazing amount of games that were not easy either. Lots of mental challenges along the way. So I think that, as much as anything, is a lot of tired professionals.
I think this format, as you can see, Dasha going just a little high. Looks like she missed left on that shot. But probably these 3 tournaments together, without, of course, the practice day was in between event, but this was more like a longer format. And this would be something you would do every week when we used to bowl on the old tour, with no days in between to rest.
Yeah.
So mentally, yes, it's always nice to have a day or 2 to regroup, but you didn't really have that here. So this was definitely a different factor, both physically and mentally.
Yeah, definitely. A tough spare conversion right there at 36910. Not a spare anybody ever wants to leave. She leaves the 9 pin. And we're pretty much all knotted up going into the third. We'll see what Julia does to come back. Super excited to see some talent on the show that hasn't won a lot. I do like it when we see new talent and get to see new faces out there. It's what keeps it all going. Solid shot right there. Great comeback. Quick double. So she takes the lead.
And that's a great shot of her hand right here. If you watch, very soft at the bottom, rolls it into the lane. He usually has a little more axis rotation, but when I was talking to the ball reps, basically her key and Lindsay's key this week were actually trying to get a little more end over end, not as much around it, to allow themselves to keep the ball in play. And I think as you're going to see the transition, that's going to be a key factor.
Perfect shot. So for someone to get it into the lane that smooth, Carolyn, what are some of the keys?
Right there. You see it right there? You see that knee? You see that right leg on the ground? That right there is how you get that ball into the lane that smooth, as well as that right shoulder going down just a little bit, that tilted right shoulder. That right there is leverage and allows her to get that ball off her hand, smooth into the lane. You're going to see a ball change here for Dasha. We went to a symmetrical ball. I think she was trying to blend out the lane a little bit.
Yeah, that ball's got a lot of surface on it.
Yes, it does.
Finished a lot harder than she was expecting. I think she liked it at 40 feet, but didn't like the last 20.
One of the things Dasha has been working on over the break, well, I should say over the break, but one of the things Dasha has been working on, though, is changing her angles a little bit. Believe it or not, for as much as she can hook it, in my opinion, she has trouble opening up her angles, which I thought was so strange, because watching her bowl, I'm thinking, just get it right. Yeah. Well, it's definitely going to come back. But that really is one of her, and I don't like to call it a weakness, it's just something that she continues to work on. And right now, I think she does have to have a little more angle, or she's going to make that move already to the left.
Yeah. And it looks like she did move a few right there, but that was a great shot. Yep. You nailed it, right? I think the key right now is being able to get the ball right off your hand to create some hold. This pattern, like we mentioned, is 41 feet, but it is really flat. It's 1.5 to 1. So when you talk about a pattern with not a lot of oil in the middle, this is about as far as you can get away from a house shot. So
Right.
being able to get the ball right off your hand just ever so slightly enough to create some hold is really the key. It's got to hurry. It's a good 8. Hey, and for everybody watching, if this is your first telecast that you've watched for the Classics this week, you'll notice it's pretty quiet in there, and that's because we've got no fans. We've got staff, we've got some of the other bowlers, and we've got ball reps. So you can hear the ball reps really clearly in the mic, and I think that's going to be a really interesting dynamic tonight, being able to hear how they pump up their players, keep their players going. I think that's pretty cool, just being able to hear what they're saying. Good spare.
As Julia moves to the second half of the game, folks, remember Storm Bowling is the leading manufacturer of high-performance bowling equipment. Visit your local VIP Pro Shop to pick up your new Storm bowling ball and bowl up a storm.
Sizable lead for Bond. She needs to continue to stay out of trouble. Up 32 pins. Well, that was a quick 32-pin lead right there.
Exactly. With a couple of opens. Yeah, the back-to-back opens by Dasha, yes. The other thing Julia's very good at, and we'll watch this as, especially if she progresses through this match, is she does have a tendency to like to increase her ball speed.
Great
To
job.
allow her to play the lanes where she is most comfortable.
Getting down to crunch time for Dasha early here. She's going to need a strike, narrow this gap here. How much is she going to move on this lane off that last shot, Carolyn?
I would think she should at least be moving a 3-1 because that ball has a lot of surface. Although Dasha very rarely does her ball hook early. She clears the fronts pretty darn good.
Yeah. Well,
but I'd say at least a 3-1. That was close.
Yeah.
But then again, maybe that lane is starting to already hook.
Already.
A little earlier, only 5 to 6 frames in.
That was something that Chuck Gardner mentioned on the broadcast a little bit earlier today, that Dasha has a unique skill to just get the ball to glide through the front part of the lane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She does. I'm going to tell you, she is so smooth into the lane, you would think that her ball would pick up. Seriously, I mean, you really would. But it doesn't. Very rarely does her ball hook super early. She floats it enough to allow it to clear that front part of the lane, which is why I find it so shocking that she doesn't trust herself to open her angles.
A 7-10 split for Dasha, and that's going to make the deficit over 40 right now. So that is it's getting late early.
Yeah, and she missed left. I don't think she thought that was one of her best shots. One of her tendencies, and just talking with Chuck a little bit, is if she does get a little quick, she tends to come over the top of the ball just a little bit too soon instead of waiting on it. And that looks like one of those shots that just forced her to get it left. And the other thing is, and Tony, this is a great, and you can actually, you hook the ball more than I do, obviously, but with using that much surface, we'll probably see the lanes transition a lot quicker than with just the 2,000 or 3,000 of surface. You know what I mean? That looked like it had a heavy 1,000 on it at least, and that tends to chew up the fronts just a little quicker.
So you're saying you think that's gonna impact the games to come just based
the transition.
on the
I
5 to 7
so.
ball? Throw that.
All right, Bowl TV fans, time for our first giveaway. The prize is going to be a bowling ball from Storm, bowling ball of your choice. So be sure to click on submit entry once you see it in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. I'll be counting down, but we will have one lucky winner of a Storm bowling ball of your choice. Good luck, everybody.
I can't see the scoring, But I would think with the strike here, if she has this game pretty much well locked up, I'd say by the 9th frame, 10th frame, she should try something, just a different ball, see what type of reaction she might have.
Yep, for sure. Doesn't get the bird dog to hit the 10, but I think that's still pretty much about ball game. I was going to do the old Jason Thomas magic number.
There we are.
1 left in the bank for Dasha. With the spare here, 155.
She's pretty much well.
She still needs.
Gosh, she would have to have them all.
Yep, Dasha's got to have them all, and
Yeah.
she's got to have a little bit. So not quite ball game just yet. It's a shame, though. I keep finding myself quoting Jason Thomas. That's twice in the last 15 minutes. That can't be healthy. That's not healthy. Carolyn, is that healthy? Of all the people you want to quote, Jason Thomas is my guy now?
Well, we've been talking about mentoring. Do you feel like he's mentoring you?
Maybe. I'm going to make a quick note on that and call him up, see if he's free on Thursday afternoons for 30 minutes of mental health for me. That's great.
Could do that. Mentoring, not mental.
Okay, mentor. All right, well, we'll try both. I'll take an hour, 30 minutes mentor, 30 minutes mental, and we'll see
There
which
you
one.
go. There you go. That was a better shot. She definitely moved a little bit further left and got that ball a little right off her hand. That was much better.
Yep. So that is going to take it. So even with a couple of opens, Julia's got this one covered. Shame for Dasha to have it all go downhill with the splits and the one missed spare. She shot 258, I think, or 256, 7, 8 the last game of match play to make it. It was a great battle between her and Diana Z for the last spot. Both of them came up clutch. Dasha just had a few more, and it was really, really a great 250 game. And then you got to turn right around, take a couple-hour break, and then bowl right on the fresh. So definitely a tough transition.
Just 255 to 227 that last matchup, but was came down to the final frame.
Thanks, Aaron. It's like he's like our own personal Google. We can just say something that might be right or close, and he'll come just do with another dynamite drop in there and clean up all our mess. It's awesome. Forget Jason Thomas. I'm going Aaron Smith for my mentor / mental / Google.
I don't come cheap, Tony.
Well, I'll see if I can't find a few quarters and dimes lying around here. We'll start saving up.
I think one of the keys for Dasha, though, is she really has worked a lot on her mental game as well. And she's never out of it. She keeps her composure. She's always in the hunt. And I think she's going to look back on this and say, you know what? This week was a good week for me. She didn't win, but she's definitely going to take a positive away because everything she's been trying to put together, we're going to talk about that throughout the night, looks like it's definitely coming together.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm sure we're going to get a chance to talk to her here in a second. So why don't you lead off with that and let's kind of see how she feels about it. For fifth place, she is going to pick up $2,500. So 2 shows for her this week. And I do agree. Great bowling. Something to build on. How about the game of Julia Bond, though? Man, she flushed a ton of shots.
And that's, you know what? Again, a great picture for all the youth bowlers to look at. Do you see how long she stays down with her shot? Until the ball hits the pins.
She's posting for sure.
Absolutely.
Folks, this match officially in the books. Julia will advance to face one-time champion Aaron McCarthy next here on Bowl TV at the Hall of Fame Classic.
So like I mentioned, it'll be interesting to see when she makes the spare, if she'll try a different ball, move to a different part of the lane just to see, maybe be a little step ahead of that transition. Because you are going to have Aaron McCarthy, who gets around it, probably going to be a little further left, Jillian, and Lindsay. Although Lindsay was trying to stay as far right and angle shut down as much as possible, until she had to make that jump. So we'll see if Julia looks like she moved in a little bit.
Got it right. Hard to say on that one if she moved in at all.
Yeah, and she might have been trying to get it right. See how much room she had. Yeah, you're right. That could have went either way.
Tough one for Dasha. I'm sure she's happy. We have found the finish line here for this game. On to the next. Really was a great finish, not just this game, but in the last round of match play for Julia. She ended up being the high average with 215.2. Erin McCarthy had the high average for really most of the day and yesterday as well by a significant amount, but Julia just caught fire the last few games. So I think, now we're going to get a battle of, to be honest, the two folks that had the best look from start to finish.
Absolutely.
Julie, who's going to go a little bit straighter, and then I think you've got Erin, who's got truly as more of a power player, the best way to combat it is to be able to get the ball right off your hand and float it really quick, and that's something she does really well. So we'll see how those two lines of attack play out.
All right, folks. Game one in the books. Julia Bond winning 213 to 157 over Dasha Kovalova. We will be coming back to our next match. Erin McCarthy taking on Julia Bond. But first, we're going to play a quick ad from our friends over at Storm.
We don't wait for opportunity.
We create it. We don't work for recognition.
We do work worthy of recognition.
It's not about being perfect.
It's about effort.
We are
Storm.
All right, Tony, Carolyn, we're going to bring in Dasha to the show. So Dasha, hello once again.
Hi, was it painful to watch?
No, never painful to watch you bowl at all, Dasha. What I would like to ask you, though, watching your practice regimen via Facebook and chit-chatting, I know you've worked really hard on your game, as you always do,
Yep.
and also your mental game. This was a long week. You made 2 shows. Tell us a little bit about how you trained and how did that lead you to making the 2 shows?
Since I moved to Michigan, I have opportunity to practice at Brunswick headquarters almost anytime I want. I even have a badge. I work here. I don't, but it's nice to have a cool badge once in a while. So I've been putting in work. I've been practicing almost every day, shooting spares, making sure my body, it does the stuff it's supposed to do when my mind does not want to do that. So just practice, make sure I stay on top of my game and understand my arsenal better. And I think it paid off in the long run, because I was able to endure the marathon. So that's pretty cool.
So let's talk about that marathon, just kind of figuring it out. You bowled with practice and everything between 80 and 90 games over 6 days. How difficult was that?
Since I lost a little bit of weight, it was easier actually than the last year's marathons. I felt I was able to repeat shots better, and I didn't really feel tired until, I took my shoes off and laid down to bed, and then all the tiredness was just whoo, it was bad. But besides, minor rip and tear in my finger, it's been pretty fine.
So that's it, just one minor little rip on the hand?
Well, also 2 rolls of tape on my body, but we don't have to know about that.
But you did, but that, I love when you talk about that. You did lose some weight. You do work hard on your game. You have the the desire to continue to work even harder on your mental game because you knew this was going to be fun.
Oh yeah.
You know, what you made a ball change. Chuck had texted me. You made a ball change. Why did you make that ball change?
To hero, I think because results didn't give me the shape that I wanted. I'm a very visual person. I match the shape that I know the ball is gonna make to the pattern. Like it could be completely out of a box decision, but because I think this fits my eye and I can repeat that, I would choose the ball. So the results did not do what I wanted it to do, so I switched to hero. But I think I started way too far right because for some reason on this particular pair, this was like game 4 for me when I would start. And I think I was chasing the reaction and kind of bit me in all the places.
No, you're so funny. I love it. Did you see the right lane hooking a little earlier than the left lane?
Yeah. I think I did, at least in the beginning, and then I kind of was a mess. I don't remember anything.
Okay, perfect.
But I picked up my 4-pin. See, I learned from the last TV show. Watch out.
Yes.
All right, Dasha. We'll let you go. Excellent
you.
performance here at the Kickoff Classic Series 2 Stepladder Finals.
Yeah, thank you.
And we can't wait to see you again on the PWBA Tour.
Me too. Bye, guys. Nice
Nice
seeing
seeing
you.
you,
I'm gonna go. Bye.
All right, there we go. We got just a couple shots left to practice here for Aaron McCarthy, who's going to take on Julia Bond next. So, we talked about Dasha using a little more surface there, being a little bit farther left, and just thinking about how Aaron will probably play even farther left than that. How do you think that's going to help her? And for Julia, is that going to slow her down?
You want to go first there, Tony? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just kind of watching Aaron's practice. So she didn't really hit the pocket much until the last couple of shots. So she ring in 10 on the left lane and flush the right lane. But if you think back to what Dasha said, this feels like the 4th game of the block. So they're already going to start a little left. If Aaron picks up on that, and maybe she did on those last 2 shots, and she's not going to play it like the first of game 2 type of deal, and she starts left, I think that gives her the advantage, right? That being able to feed it to the right just ever so slightly creates the hold on this pattern, and that's where she had most of her success. So that's what I'm seeing that right now, at least based on those last 2 shots.
Yep, I agree with that. I think Erin and Jillian the most will use that to their advantage to create the hold. I actually think Julia and Lindsay may increase their ball speed to help them try to create some hold.
Kicking off game number 2.
Good looking shot to start.
And sometimes we talk about the moves that bowlers will make, and we're sitting here going, hey, they should do this, or hey, why isn't so-and-so doing that? Just like Dasha said, she looks at a shape, what she feels she can repeat. Sometimes the right move is not what you can do at the moment.
Great shot. That's true. I think that was a great bit of insight from Dasha. The right ball doesn't always have to be the perfect ball. It has to be the right ball for you.
That's correct. And if you see, that was another great shot with Erin. I love this new camera angle. But you can see Erin obviously has more axis rotation than Julia. But you can see she seems like she's lofting it a little bit out onto the lane, because Erin can be pretty smooth into the lane also.
Mm-hmm. Looks pretty good. Blows the rack with the light shot. Yep. They're both looking pretty good so far, but it's early. That's the thing, right? Can you throw more than 3 good shots in a row and have them do the right thing?
It's early, and the lanes, as we know, continue to transition as we wait, as they throw shots. So who will be the one to keep up with that and be ahead in that move?
The PWBA would like to thank its apparel partners for their continued support. These partners include Bolify, Cool, EFX, High Five Gear, I Am Bowling by Logo Infusion, Chameleon Sportswear, Rift Apparel, and Vice Sportswear.
That looked really good.
That was a great shot off her hand. Let's look at her angles here. Nope, I thought we were. There we go. Still pretty straight through the front. I mean, that is a 17 to 14, 13 look. That she is not really getting it right at all very much. But again, one of the things with Julia is her ball speed. When I talked to Matt, he said she really is able to shut down her angles, and she uses her ball speed to make that effective for her.
Got it up the lane. Good 9. She'll take
Terrible.
9 on that all day. And see, on the tight lane over there, I was kind of thinking for a second, maybe that was going to be okay to keep it in. But once it got just past the arrows, it took off. Cannot go. There has to be a little bit of belly even on the tight lane.
Yes, I agree. And the thing is, if you look, the girls are not throwing it down the lane to the right. It's all in the front part, in the heads. They're really just creating that, like you said, that just the few boards slightly to the right to create that angle to hopefully create hold.
Yep. Nope, she didn't like that. Same thing, got it right up the lane.
That one of the things Erin has said too, she's been working on is she tends to kind of like what Dasha does. She tends to get around it a little too soon. She doesn't wait on it. And then the way she says it, she gets a little yippy. You know, she grabs it a little bit more at the end than she wants. And that looked like one of those shots.
And the miss on the 3-6-10. Hands it over to Julia. Spares this week were tough. I think we're shooting a lot of them, but also I think just the fact that there were so many games, so much bowling, it's easy to get mentally tired, out of sorts, a little lazy. But I definitely felt like I saw a lot of missed spares this week.
I mentioned it today. I reached out to the ball reps just to kind of get a different vision. And they said spare shooting was not going as well as planned for some of the girls. And I do agree with you, Tony, as you see Erin leaving, and I believe it's the 210. I do think it is some mental fatigue, without a doubt. But again, that's something where, and we talked about this today, that's when you really need to step aside and dig deep. I mean, you only have X number of games left. I know it's tough. I know you're tired, but you gotta really dig deep to get through that, those last few games that can possibly lead to a show.
Yep. It's a good point. That's a good tip out there, everyone, from Coach Carolyn. Dig deep. Don't miss the spares. So you're going for your first title. You start with a double. Your opponent starts with a double. Then your opponent has 2 opens. Then it's your turn. What are you thinking in a situation like that?
I know exactly what I'm thinking of. Throw 2 more great shots. You know why? She's got to catch up.
Well, that was one. That was absolutely perfect.
I actually like her ball reaction on the right lane better than I do on the left lane.
Yeah.
And it could be that little, again, she's a little bit further right, a little bit straighter, and her ball just seems to be motioning to the pocket just perfect on that right lane.
Yep. And on this pattern, again, 41 foot, they used just ice oil. Ice oil really is, as far as slickness goes, the slickest oil. It moves down the lane the fastest, and that really is, it's going to be a challenge on lane 9. all night long tonight, because you've already seen when you get it a little bit right, it does want to make the turn. However, that was perfect right there.
Good. But you know what? On that shot, she did have just a little bit of angle to the right here.
Yep.
The last shot, when she had missed on and went high, it was left off her hand. So great shot.
Would you consider that digging deep right there?
I would say that's digging deep. And here's another thing. It's not like you have to make big moves. Maybe she just moved her eyes aboard right.
Good comeback.
Yep.
Erin's
not going down without a fight. I can guarantee you that.
She's not, but she's also down a quick 40.
Yes.
Bowl TV fans, the new Brunswick Knockout featuring the proven Melee Core and Savvy Hook 3.0 solid cover stock is available now. Check out brunswickbowling.com for more information.
Flat 10. So with the spare, she's going to be down actually 35 pins. But Julia got a chance to really step on the pedal right there and put it away.
I'm glad to see I'm glad to see them all bowling well, but Erin is one of our first responders. She's a nurse.
Yep.
Works in 3 different units. So I think it's great that she made the TV show. Although I love everybody who made the TV show, it's nice to see. It's almost like a little bonus for her. And just wanted to say thank you for all she does, because she'll be heading home for probably a 12-hour shift.
Yep. Here, Erin. Thank you so much.
Tony, when you talk about the pattern, fresh every round, strip and re-oil, your thoughts on that?
Oh, gosh. I'm not a fan. I think it's fine sometimes, but let's try and get as much of the lane in use as possible.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
By not stripping and run, then you're going to get to see more of the lane.
Right. I agree with that. And I think you also see a different transition when you strip and re-oil every time, kind of like what you said. We're using an oil that carries down a little bit. You may see one lane transition different than the other, which is normal. The backs tend to get tight. Like we saw, lane 9 seems to be a little tighter than lane 10. I agree with you a little bit. You see a little bit more of the lane as you let the lanes just continue to break down.
Another great shot.
I was getting ready to use your line, Tony. I was going to say she is just stepping on the gas full force.
She is. I mean, she's up 45 right now. It's with 4 frames left.
Okay, so here, Tony, do you remember we talked about this last week about girls that hook it and you're looking and going, I want to do that, right? Julia Bond doesn't hook the ball very much, right? Nice, great ball roll, some axis rotation, constantly keeps the ball in play. What do we think is wrong with that?
Nothing.
Right? Absolutely nothing. So that was just clarifying what you and I spoke about, where when we see the other girls hooking the ball and everybody says, I want to do that, just look where that break point is and make your game conducive for that shot. And you can hit the pocket all day.
Yeah, for sure. Well, one more time. It's getting late early. Yeah, you think about the fresh, every squad, and that was I had asked that question, and the comment back from all you guys was, women bowl on fresh every squad. Which, it's when you just think about rev rate, chews up the oil, makes the moves. On the PBA tour, you can kind of play every single board, or you can play most of the lane in an 8-game block. So bowling on fresh every time for the men's probably not a bad idea, because I'm not a huge fan of pitching it halfway down the lane either in order to find some oil.
Right.
There is a happy medium in there somewhere.
Right.
Put the ladies, I think the deepest I probably saw anybody at the arrows was 22, 23. So there's still significant amount of lane left for most. And I like to see, what happens on that part of the lane as well.
Agree. Erin with a ball change.
To something that hooks more.
Looks like it definitely picked up earlier, that's for sure.
Yep. So she's got 212 left. Max score, 228 pace right now for Julia. So pace out, and Julia moves on to the teenage phenom.
Bowl TV fans, time for our second giveaway. Coming up next, a Brunswick knockout up for grabs. So folks, remember to hit submit entry once you see it, bottom left-hand corner of your screen. It's giveaway time here on Bowl TV.
Hey, Aaron, at the end of the match play round, I saw you guys gave away a Sonos. What kind of Sonos? Was that a Sonos Move? Do you know what kind of Sonos that was?
To be honest, Tony, I'm not very good at technology, so
All
I have
right,
no
well,
idea what it was, but it looked cool and it's heavy.
I just can't believe all the great things you guys are giving away. I thought it was a Sonos Move. I was trying to click on the submit thing so I could win. A friend of mine, he's a big Sonos Move guy, the J-Dub, and he he's been telling me how great it was. And I was like, man, you guys are giving away Sonos Moves out here too. Ladies and gentlemen, Bowl TV, come get you some, folks. Sign up.
Post giveaways.
Away crazy good items.
It could be a slogan in the making in the future.
That's right. Bowl TV, come get you some. Julia needs to make this. Woo! The old 2-7. You heard Matt McNeil say great focus right there. So, Carolyn, so I said I like being able to hear the ball reps and in the background. As a bowler, do you like being able to hear them, cheer you on, root you up as you're bowling?
I do, but I have to be honest with you. When I bowled on TV, I didn't hear much of that. I heard the shuffling of my feet. I think I talked about this, I don't know, on one of our podcasts. I was so tuned into what I was doing. I really lost such focus as to what was going on around me. It was all about just me and the lane, point A to point B. And the only thing I ever remember hearing was the shuffling of my feet. And then, you win a game or you lose a game, then you hear something. But I got to tell you, it's amazing what you hear when you're so focused on a task.
Yeah.
But it is nice to know you always have someone in your corner that you can walk over to.
Yep, for sure. So we got a little bit of interesting action now. So still 212 left in the tank for Aaron, which would force a mark and count for Julia.
Yes, changes everything.
But again, Aaron's got to have them all. And that's the way to get one right there.
And she made a ball change last frame, right? So
reminds me of the Liz Johnson ball change the other night.
Exactly. Definitely rolls up a little bit sooner than the ball she was using and is definitely driving through the pins. That's what Erin likes to see.
So same setup. Aaron's got to have them all to have a chance here.
Ooh.
Break there. It's going to give her 191 max. So Julia on the bench is going to move on.
And we saw that a lot last week, Tony, with this pair. That left lane. Remember when we talked about who was going to start the match? What would you do with your opponent? That left lane was the lane that everybody was leaving that flat 10 on. But as we heard from Brianna, she chose to go with the lane where she felt she had more hook. So it'll be interesting as you see these matches, what Jillian and what Lindsay choose to do.
In that case, Aaron chose to finish on the left lane.
Mm-hmm.
So there was something to your point that she liked about it.
Yep.
But no one gets the key strikes over there. The left lane, tougher to strike on, also brings the light 210 into play. Oh, great finish, great ball change. Just
No,
gonna come up
definitely.
with a
Love
hit short.
ball change. Yep.
Carolyn, Tony, do you know what this
Aaron?
means now? With Aaron McCarthy being defeated, we are going to have a brand new, first time ever PWBA Tour champion here at the Hall of Fame Classic.
All right.
Yes, we are.
Let's get
How
some more titles.
exciting.
16-year-old Jillian Martin awaiting in the semifinal, and Lindsay Boomershine at the top of the step ladder will face the winner of that matchup.
All right. Julia's still looking pretty locked in. You surprised there she didn't try a different ball?
I'm trying to find out whether she did or not. That's number one, but it didn't look like she did. You are correct. Here's the thing. I feel Julia has the game that will allow her to keep the ball in play if the lanes get a little funky. Okay. I think the other two girls like to hook it just a little bit more, even though Lindsay did a great job in this tournament of really shutting down her angles. Julia's A game is to have her angles shut down. In pressure situations, you want to be playing your A game. So it's going to be key. That was another thing that kind of was going through my mind. Will Lindsay and Jillian be able to play their A game? And if not, you have to settle your nerves and come out from the beginning just like a fighting tiger.
Final score 213 to 191. Julia Bond defeats Aaron McCarthy. And before we get to Aaron, folks, Brunswick has been a proven industry leader for more than 100 years. For more information, check out brunswickbowling.com.
All right, so Aaron's going to take home $3,000 for this one. Again, 2 shows for her this week. A great week. Great bowling all the way around.
And with that, let's bring her into the show. So we'll welcome Aaron McCarthy.
Where's my friend?
Hi, guys.
Hey, Aaron.
Hello.
So, Aaron, both of the, and I don't want to say losers, both of the competitors that did not win their matches both changed balls halfway through the match. So how difficult is it out there right now to pick the right ball in the practice you get and then ride it through? Because again, the ball you threw in the first 6 frames looked great for a couple frames. The one you finished with looked great as well. How difficult is it out there right now?
I mean, it's pretty tricky, but especially on this pattern, shot making is important. And if I had to rate my shot making for those 10 frames, it'd probably be about a 4 or 5, not the best. So, when you're halfway through the game and you're down, why not try something new, even if it's not the correct choice? But I just felt like I needed to do something to end on a good note.
I have a little off the cuff question on that one. You did as much practicing as you could before this event. We talked about you being a nurse on the front lines, company change. How did you feel coming into this week?
I was a little bit nervous. I didn't know really what my expectation should be or would be. So I just kind of wanted to come out here and make some cuts and bowl as best as I could. And, at the end of the week, I'm pretty satisfied with how things turned out.
I think you bowled great.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. You said your shot making was a 4. How would you rate the week for you overall?
Probably on upwards of 7 or 8. My spare shooting was fairly good for the most part. My shot making was consistent. Today, I just really struggled. Even early on this morning, I would throw at least 1 or 2 just horrendous shots during the game, and I'd have to try and bounce back, and just not enough frames this last game to do so.
Well, Aaron, it was a tremendous performance here overall at the Kickoff Classic Series, a pair of stepladder final appearances. And Carolyn mentioned on the show, but once again, just thank you for everything that you do as a registered nurse over there in Omaha. So keep up the great work, and we can't wait to see you again on the tour.
I appreciate it, guys. Bye.
Thanks, Aaron. Thanks, Aaron.
And that's so key when you're on TV. One thing Erin did tell me when she was texting me earlier today, that she was able to refocus after a bad shot or refocus when she was down in a match. She didn't feel pressure to make a ball change or make a hasty decision. She was able to kind of just breathe and make a logical decision. And she felt that that reset button that she felt like she pushed really allowed her to stay in the hunt for that show.
It's an impressive performance all week, especially down the stretch there, holding her spot in the top 5. Was there for most of the event throughout the Hall of Fame Classic. So once again, another great showing there by Erin. And we see Lindsay and Jillian getting ready here. Jillian will be taking on Julia next. And as we mentioned, for these 3 players, none of them have won a national tour title. They do not have one to their credit. Julia has 3 regional titles. But this is the first time on the national stage for her. We kind of talked about, being in that situation. You talked about, wanting to have your A game going, Carolyn as well. So, when you look at these 3 players, if you look at experience, it certainly is in Lindsay's favor right now. But the fact that neither are, really, they haven't been in this situation before, what's going to be the key for whoever makes it out of this next match?
I think there's going to be a couple key factors. By the way, I'm going to show you some pictures later when we get back on. I think there's going to be a couple key factors. Because of what we're seeing on the transition and the last 2 bowlers who admitted they probably should have changed balls, it was the girls that like to go around it a little more that have seen the transition the most. I like Julia's chances. She's going to stick to her A game. She's going to keep those angles shut down. And again, she will use either her ball speed or keep those angles short and just keep moving those parallels to the left. I think she will be able to control the pocket the easiest out of the 3 girls, because Jillian and Lindsay, as you can see, even with their practice shots, tend to want to get that ball just a little bit right down the lane. And as we could see on that left lane, the left lane is tighter on the back, and that ball doesn't quite tip as hard as you can even see with Erin leaving the flat 10.
Excellent rundown, Carolyn. And just a few shots remain before Jillian and Julia will kick off here in the semifinal match of the PWBA Hall of Fame Classic from the ITRC in Arlington, Texas, the final event of the Kickoff Classic Series. Shannon O'Keefe won the Bowlers Journal Classic to kick things off. Brianna Cote, a thrilling win at the ITRC Classic, and Jacqueline Evans taking home the win in the Arlington Regional. Who will be next? We'll find out soon. Going back to full screen here on Bowl TV.
All right, so we've got our 16-year-old phenom, Jillian Martin. She's got her Kobe Bryant tribute jersey on today. Pretty awesome jersey. It's the Black Mamba on the back and the Kobe 824 Laker color on the front. So she said in the post game, as it's been the 1 year since Kobe passed away, that felt like the right time to wear it and use a little bit of that mentality. I'll tell you, Carolyn, one other fun thing. Last night when she got done, and again, no one's wanting to admit that we've heard so far that they're tired and worn down, which I love. They're showing a lot of heart. And that question was asked to Jillian last night, and she's like, "No, I'm fine. I bowl a lot anyway, so it's no big deal."
Right. Well,
kids.
Well, yeah, kids. Too, though, when you're in the midst of the battle, even though you made the TV show is not over yet. So the tournament's not over yet. When you're in the midst of the battle, I don't think your body tells you to get tired because you still have work to do. I think you can relax your body and try to get, remotivated to get ready for that TV show. But I think you're still in that hyper mode, the excitement of it all. So I can see why they may not be admitting they're tired. But I'm going to tell you, when Erin McCarthy and Dasha go back to their room and they lay on the bed, I don't think they're going to have any problems falling asleep.
No. I mean, the blocks for the match play for this event, like 6-hour blocks.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
In pairs all over, match play, 4 in a pair, 6-hour block. That is, under these conditions, that's tough stuff.
It looks like some technical difficulties there, getting the arrows in the right direction. But Director of Operations, Team Neil Milligan, on top of things Also a USBC Hall of Famer on top of that too. And it looks like we are all set to go. Jillian.
It sounded as though Tennille was getting some sarcastic claps there, so business a little bit.
Jillian, first shot on that left lane, definitely getting it a little further to the right down the lane. It'll be interesting to see how that transitions because of what we have seen out of that left lane.
Yep. And wisely chooses to finish on the right lane, I think.
If I were bowling now, I would probably finish on the right lane.
100%. I would 100% finish on the right lane.
The only way I would probably finish on the left lane is if I was playing hold.
When don't you do that though?
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I've had to learn a little bit over the last few years that there's not always hold on some of these flatter patterns.
That's so true.
Kind of like this weekend when I bowled, I didn't have any hold.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, you have to move with the game.
She's got out to a hot start every time.
She hasn't. It actually looks like she might have moved just a little bit left. Not much, but still, see how straight her angles are? Just very. I mean, she is getting it to the right, maybe 3 or 4 boards at most, and her ball is just smooth off of the end of the pattern. And that's where I think she has an advantage.
Can you tell what ball she's throwing?
I cannot, but I'm sending text messages to Matt McNeil right now.
It kind of looks like a trend with surface, or maybe
I will tell you that Matt did say a lot of pearl balls, higher end balls with surface was the name of the game for this event. A lot of idle pearls were going down with 1,000 on it. So you may be right on the money with the trend. But again, Matt was saying a lot of higher end, higher RG balls with some surface. And that's another great tip for our viewers. You can put surface on pearl bowling balls to create a different motion. And Julia is using an idle pearl. So there you go.
There you go. Slaps the 10. More bounce on that lane. She can be aggressive. Really impressed with Julia so far. Not a ton of experience on the telecast bowling for titles, and she's just been rock solid.
The other thing about that, watch when she lets her ball go. You don't see her body move either, right? She stays with her shot till the ball goes through the pins.
And we're going to bring in Matt McNeil here for just a second. So to get a little rundown. Matt, when it's time, let us know.
Guys, I feel like one of those golf announcers. I don't want to talk too loud because the headsets, they drown your voice out, so you don't know if you're talking too loud. So I'm making sure to stay quiet to make sure we're being respectful to the players.
That's an excellent job.
Thank you. So Julia has made a switch to the idle pearl from the last game. The Rubicon was hooking too much, and it was just time to move left. The lanes were transitioning, so we made that switch in the 10th frame, and it's been paying dividends so far. Jillian's throwing a nuclear cell. I think both of them seem very comfortable. They got good ball reaction, and I think we're going to see a really good match here.
All right, thanks, Matt.
Hey, thanks, Matt. That's
Thank you, Matt.
Nice call on the ball there. 3 flush hits.
I thought you brought him in because you didn't want me texting him anymore. As you can see again from this great angle, I just love this angle. Again, Julia is playing her A game. She is making that transition from as the lanes transition. She is ahead of it. changing balls and making those parallel moves that are allowing her to play the lanes the way she likes to play them. And she repeats. That's even better.
Repeating shots tends to have a positive outcome, I've heard. I haven't actually tried it myself, but it seems like a really solid decision.
Oh, you probably do it more than you think, haha.
Oh, gets the shaker.
Tell you, the light hits on that left lane.
It's the only way to
Seem
strike.
to be much better. Yeah, that's correct. Seem to be much better than the solid hits.
Tour players naturally tend to migrate to those balls that offer more core torque and continuous motion down lane with minimal deflection through the pins. It was that logic that led to the development and creation of the all-new Roto Grip Tour Core designed for tour-level players and those who aspire to score like them.
Oof, great shot.
That ball Jillian is using is a little bit stronger, and it's an asymmetrical ball, so it allows her to, you know how we talked a little bit when the lanes get that wet dry, where the dry is really dry and the wet is really wet. This ball actually allows her to get it to roll smoother off the pattern in both directions. So I think that's why it looks so good. Of course, I don't think anything's going to look bad in her hand anyway.
Nope. There you go. Again, 16 years old, spare four-bagger. And the fist pumps. Love the fist pumps.
Kicking up the right leg first, followed by the fist pump.
I like the fist pump with like the slam down fist pump. I'm gonna totally try that the next time I double, which could be a couple weeks. But if I do it, I'm going to really give it to him. I'm not going to give her credit, though. I'm going to say I thought of that move all myself. That's got to tilt a little bit. Oh, didn't get the slap.
Another great shot. Again, both girls keeping the ball in play. Got that one a little bit further right down lane. Didn't quite come up to the high flush like that lane's been doing. I mean, the balls just seem to be picking up right at the good spot on that right lane.
Folks, we're going to have our third bowling ball giveaway starting now. Up next, a Rotogrip RSTX1 giveaway starting now. Click submit entry.
Great spare.
Rock solid on those spares.
They
Gotta love it.
Or Miss CDB is going to get some bad bowler attitude if some spares don't get knocked over.
No, no, they would feel bad themselves.
All knotted up right now, though, through 5. Jillian will have a chance to take a 10-pin lead if she gets up and blast the pocket like she's been doing. I look good. That's such an impressive ball change. That's just there's so many factors it takes, but making it, you just win a match or you just win 2 matches with a certain ball, kind of make a blind switch after a couple of shots, flush shots, 5. Really, she's flushed every shot for the most part. So really impressive.
I don't think Julia, along with Jillian. Now, I think Jillian more so than Julia, but I don't think either one of them are intimidated by their environment at all. I really don't.
That's got to hold. Oh, yeah, gets the tip. So that's going to be scary for everyone right here. She definitely got that shot in. It was a fantastic shot, but it was inside. Power player, they love that shot right there.
But like we talked about, Tony, she has a lot of ball speed, and she's able to create the angle. She has both going for her to allow her to create some hold into the pocket.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And when you start to find out that you have a little miss area, oh dear. Whoa. Whoa. I felt that one all the way back here in my home office.
If you don't think she had a massive fist pump hoop off set ready to roll right there, she had to put that back in the holster. Great shot. Great shots. So she does not use a different ball for her spares. Thoughts on that, Miss Carolyn?
I see more people doing that now. I was never really able to do it. I didn't feel like I could repeat it. So I opted for a spare ball. I think it's whatever you are most comfortable with and what you can repeat. Since the resurgence of urethane, I've seen more youth bowlers and actually more touring players use urethane to shoot spares. So I really do think it goes to what you can repeat and what that then will make you comfortable.
Great shot. That ties it back up.
Again, she's moved in. She's about 19 and got that one out to about 12. 11, 12, but I could see off the screen. So she's got it seems like she's got just a little bit more room with this ball as she's making that move to the left.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's looked absolutely perfect. She's got 279. Julia has 279 left in the tank. Jillian has 269. This is the one she wants right here. Yes, it's a big hit.
And again, Tony, light hit. That lane's been the best for the light hits.
Puts a tremendous amount of pressure on Jillian right here. Took a 10-pin lead, but again, at this point in the game where you've got the advantage on max score too, really, really stressful for a strike right here. Counts, very important.
Going back to her championship appearance at the ITRC Classic, the 9-pin was what she left in the 9th frame against Brianna Cote. Went on to strike out to force Brianna to mark in that situation. But
correct, yes.
That was the one where she tripped the 4 and left the 9, I think.
That one seems like she got, it seems like she got that one in a little bit. It just didn't quite tip the way the last shot did.
Yep. Great shot, though. Great
Absolutely.
shot. So now with the spare, she'll have 258 max left.
So it's something we haven't talked about, and I haven't even asked because I talked to her a little bit on Messenger today, and I haven't asked her this. 16, going to be 17. That's when Alyssa just now started looking at colleges. Now, who do you think's going to want her?
Yeah, I've seen some chatter about that. Every single team would like to have her.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a funny on that one. Oh, she got that one way right down lane.
Yep, did not hit that one. Just looked like she lost it too. Well, this is a must make. You got to go for it. With the spare, 244 is her max score. Got to make it.
One of the things that she really worked on this week, and especially for this last event, was not trying to make things happen. Just trying to calm her nerves and let the ball get off her hand. She said when she really tried to make things happen is when she felt like she just didn't throw good shots.
Yeah. That's a learning, right? I mean, the fact that
Absolutely.
she the fact that she recognizes it is really impressive because
Absolutely. And really, that shot there could have been, again, we're far away from it. It's not like we're right behind them, but could have been just a little bit more firm because she's got great ball speed. I mean, it could be something so minor, but again, yes, for her recognizing it and something she's going to work on, it says volumes.
Oh, she looked like she didn't like that, and it just as good as the others.
Correct.
That shot all but wraps it up for Julia here. Max for Jillian 232. Even with an open, Julia's going to be in the 240s.
Wow, how about that game, Carolyn?
I love this, but I'm going to tell you in Jillian's words, when she has to wait on the ball, she feels like she can do anything, which I think is kind of cool because going back to what you said, she even recognizes that.
Aaron, did you say with an open here she would shoot 240?
That is what I said, yes.
And then she went ahead and 4-9'd? God, I've heard you're dangerous.
Yeah,
all week.
Always Aaron. It's always Aaron.
I want to bring him along the next time you've got a really hot competitive match going on, and he can just whisper to everyone else around him about what your opponent. Ooh, if she opens here.
Yeah, I think this was a fantastic match, and Matt called it. Also said we were going to have a good match. The great ball change again. I mean, really, you had Dasha change balls. It wound up being close to the right thing. She recognized it. Erin McCarthy, ball change, definitely the right thing to do. You have Julia doing it. Again, these girls are so much further ahead than the tour was 10 or 15 years ago in the knowledge that they have of not only their equipment, but the lane conditions. And you see that as these scores are getting better and better. On Tony, like we talked about, this pattern was not forgiving.
No.
Pair to pair, this pattern was tough. Spares were tough, and spares were a must in some games. So they're making the lanes now look pretty darn, I don't want to say the word easy because we have one more match, but they're making them look very playable.
There you go. And you could say that they're easy as long as Aaron doesn't say it. We're fine.
Correct. I know.
Totally covered.
Wow. It's going to be like that. I see how. All right, everybody. Final score 245 to 211. Julia Bond is going to face Lindsay Boomershine. One of them is going to be taking home their first career PWBA tour title. And before we get to Jillian, everybody, the good folks at Rotogrip, everything they do is to put you in a position to dominate. They make equipment that makes you your best because that's not your name up there next to your score. It's your reputation. Visit rotogrip.com to view their complete line of high-performance bowling balls. And with that, we are going to bring in Jillian Martin, the standout here of the Kickoff Classic Series. Hello again, Jillian.
Hi,
Hi.
Jillian.
Carolyn, take it away.
All right, Jillian, I'm going to make this really, it's simple and it's about you.
All right.
You're fearless. You're a phenom. You're doing all of the right things at the age of 16. I want you to sum up this, meaning the 3 events, sum up your tournament week.
All right. Overall, I thought it was a really good week, to say the least. I think the first event, I was just a little bit nervous. Obviously, that was my 3rd PWBA event ever. So it was just different coming out here and bowling against the best in the world. So definitely some nerves going on there. I think that's why I didn't finish necessarily as well as I would have liked. Second event, we kind of got through that a little bit more. I got to the step ladder. Still not exactly great. I think especially in qualifying, I had that one last game where the nerves just really got to me. This event, though, I feel like I really put it all out there. I feel like I bowled my best, and in the end, I just didn't come up with the win, and it is what it is.
I like it. I do have a little follow-up for that because you like to get in and get around them just a little bit. Do you think Dasha, starting off the first match with a lot more surface, helped break down the lane to where you like to play them?
Yeah, I would say it probably did. I knew it was going to be iffy on whether or not I could throw that ball, but I actually had to put less surface on it than we had thought, so I would agree it probably did.
Perfect. I'm proud of you. You're great, and I can't wait to see you in March. And yeah, we're just talking about, I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm throwing one more question. I don't care. Okay. Any colleges on the horizon?
I mean, not really. We still got a little bit of time. I would say top 6 right now are, in no particular order, Wichita, Vanderbilt, Nebraska, McHenry, North Carolina A&T, and oh my gosh, I forgot one. No, I didn't. Vanderbilt. I'm just kidding.
I love it. I love it. I think anyone would be honored to have you. You're a trailblazer. Believe it or not, at the age of 16, you are a trailblazer, and you're going to be a phenomenal mentor for the up and coming girls. You go get them. It's all about you. It's all about you, Jillian.
All right.
Jillian, it's been so amazing to watch you this week. We've had so much fun watching your progression through these events, and I think you might be one of the new fan favorites on the PWBA tour, even though you're a few years away from joining the PWBA tour.
Yeah, just a few.
But what's on the horizon for you in these next upcoming months?
Definitely some SYCs. The PBA Junior National Tournament is in the middle of February as well, and some local EYTs, JTBAs. I'm going to bowl what I can, and we'll see. But just a lot of practice, just getting back out on the lanes and doing what I know how to do best.
Awesome.
Congratulations, Jillian. It was a pleasure to watch you bowl.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Jillian, we'll let you go. Take care. And once again, just an unbelievable week. It was so awesome to watch here at the Kickoff Classic Series. You and your dad take care, and we'll see you guys soon.
Thank you.
All right, Jillian Martin. Back-to-back finishes of second and third on the PWBA tour at 16 years old, folks. That's what we've just witnessed here. It's amazing. It's so cool. But before we get back to the action on the lanes, practice time right now, we're going to go to a quick ad from the official lane maintenance provider on the PWBA tour, Kegel.
How do I play this pattern?
You gotta love JJ there.
I love him.
He's just so great.
I mean, and a great bowler in his own right. I mean, the guy is a great bowler and just phenomenal.
Absolutely. We had him on the broadcast a little bit earlier over the course of this week. So thank him. He gave us a little rundown of one of the patterns as well. So big thanks to Double J and all the folks who have visited us here on bowltv.com. It's been a fun week talking to Hall of Famers, great folks throughout the industry, great bowlers, great people. It's been a fun week. It's almost been like a big old family reunion, except with a lot of bowling involved. So we appreciate that. And folks, we're just moments away. Lindsey Boomershine against Julia Bond for the title at the PWBA Hall of Fame Classic. One of them will win their first national title. Will Julia run the ladder, or will Lindsey come through from the top spot?
You know, that's what I was told by Nick Hoagland today. He said if a straight player gets loose early, they could run the ladder, and that's basically what we're seeing. Julia with the very direct down and in strategy, changed balls a couple of times, and she's looked absolutely brilliant out there.
The other part of that too, Tony, is, and we've talked about this, she has how many games under her belt on this pair already? And she knows the characteristics of the pair. Again, we're going to see what Lindsey chooses to do. But, you know, Del and I have talked about this many times. Would you rather be first or second?
Yeah.
And there's so many times you go, well, first, because if you lose, you only finish second. But then you're thinking to yourself, but if I'm second, I get a game under my belt. And there's so much that you learn from those games to make faster decisions. It's going to be very interesting to see. Tony, what would you do? If you were Lindsey, what would you have Julia do?
If I purely go, unless it's some easy to tell challenge that the opponent has with a lane, I go with what I like. And I'm just going to pick whatever lane I like the best to get the 10th frame on, period.
Okay.
If it was clear to me that Julia really liked one lane more than the other, maybe that's a different story. But
correct.
She's shown to be locked in on both lanes.
So as a straighter player, I would choose to probably end on the lane that maybe hooked a little bit more, which would have been the right lane. I had mentioned that, but I agree with you in this situation. I don't think Julia has a bad lane because she has that light hit on that left lane. But we'll see out of Lindsay. Lindsay's tried the last couple shots, playing them a little straighter.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see which one she chooses, because she's really worked on putting all of the parts together, and she proved that she belongs here this week.
For sure. So going back to your comment on the first top seed, second seed, you got 20 pro titles. What do you think your record was from the top seed?
Not as good as I would have liked it to be. Because I lost 2 major championships as leader, and I bowled well, obviously not well enough, but I don't know. I don't think I won as much as I should have from the lead. I'll just leave it there.
All right. She's loose and underway now.
Got the first frame out of the way, hit the pocket, good shot. Now it's time to step on the gas.
With products for bowling centers, coaches, and mechanics, Kegel is truly built for bowling. Visit kegel.net to learn more about all they do for our great sport.
It's a tough spot. That will not strike on that lane from.
Yep, good shot by Lindsay, keeping the ball in play. That was her game plan all week. Again, she likes to go around them just a little bit. She is not getting it as far right as she normally likes to. She is really keeping the ball a little bit more, as she would say, in front of her, end over end. So she's allowed to keep the ball in play. That was her game plan all week, and I think it's smart. But getting back to what you said, Tony, it'll just be manipulating something or a ball change to make sure it gets through the pins.
Yeah, and there's certainly no reason to freak out over those 2 shots. Those are great shots. They didn't strike. 9 spares, perfectly fine right now. We've seen, for the most part, every game, Julia has got out to a solid start with some strikes. So we'll see if the pattern continues. Oh, God, what a great shot.
Could be seeing a little bit more of the transition. This great shot, perfect off her hand, just like she ended the last game. This time she leaves a ring 10. Tony, you leave a ring 10 after just shooting a big game. Only the second frame, though. What do you do on next time you're up on that lane? Do you change anything?
Probably not. I'll throw it back in the same spot. Well, I probably won't throw it back in the same spot, which means
No.
I'll try.
You'll try.
I'll try, but it's probably not going to go back in the same spot. It'll probably go half pocket and destroy the pins. Or
Okay,
I'll probably just triple.
I am going to throw it close to the same spot.
You will actually throw it on the same spot. No, I don't change. Not if the lanes were hooking a lot and you could really see it come in late, maybe. But that's just on this pattern. That was just a great shot that got unlucky.
Right. I agree with you. I throw the same area, and then after that, I make a decision.
Boom. She's put on a clinic tonight.
She's moved just a little bit further left on that lane. Looks like she's laying it down now around 17. Kind of hard when you're looking at the screen on a laptop, but I'm thinking it's about 17.
Yeah. And you said earlier when she started, it was around 12 or 13.
But they're getting it out, so right. So
she's moved at least five and a ball change tonight.
Yes, correct.
The PWBA would like to thank its accessory partners for their continued support. These partners include 3G, BowlerX.com, Dexter, Eileen's Bowling Buddy, Genesis Bowling, Master Industries, Robbie's Turbo Bowling Accessories, Ultimate Bowling Products, and Vice Grips.
It's got to hurry.
Good shot.
It's a good spot to put it. Good spot to put it. It looks like a pearl high road with a lot of surface on it.
She likes pearl high roads too. Looks like she got that one way down the lane, a little bit further to the right, but with the surface, just allowing it to be smoother off the pattern. And I like that look. I do. And it's worked for Julia, as we can see too. So both in the right part of the lane, just need to make good shots.
Yeah, the good thing is, right, they can just be real clean with it at the bottom.
Yep.
And that's, they're both locked in on that right now. That's what happens when you've bowled so many games and you feel comfortable on the pattern.
Mm-hmm.
You can do something that maybe normally you might try and catch it more at the bottom, but they're just being super soft and letting the ball do the work. Pretty good.
What a terrible break.
Yep, first 7-10. That's been the bad luck hit of the week. First one we've seen tonight.
One of the keys for Lindsay is making sure she gets her ball into her swing, and she looks strong. She looks good. She has worked really hard, and she looks confident. And that's just a bad break.
Yep. Gives up a couple pins there. So I'll go back to you on that. So that's 2 half pocket hits that did not strike for Lindsay on the left lane. Would you make a move to the right?
I would definitely make a move. And I would probably, the way I see that left lane, I would probably move my feet and not my eyes.
Okay.
Because this pattern, and I hate to say that, the girls that bowled well tonight, obviously Julia, if you even see it, Jillian wasn't getting the ball way right down lane. That angle in the front was just very slight. And I think that's important. So big moves were not necessary. It was more of the ball changes and just paralleling everything. There you see she's catching the light hit. She got that one way right. This gets out to about, 7-8.
Yep.
Just rolled just enough off the pattern. Again, that goes back to, the tip. You can put surface on pearl balls to allow it to give you a different ball motion. Clean through the front, going to be a little bit smoother on the back. Perfect.
Our final giveaway is underway. Xbox One S. Pick up a Xbox One S. Click submit entry.
She's going to look back and say that was probably one of the best shots she threw all night. You could see how she just nailed it, came through it super hard.
Yep,
And just
didn't get that one. That was one board right of the tracer down lane, high flush. And again, does not look like she's manipulating her hand or anything. All she has done, ball change, chase, transition. Keep it simple. Now, Lindsay has gone light, flat 10 on this lane, right? No,
light 7-pin.
Light 7-pin. Sorry, that's what it was. Okay.
But yeah, both
and
were
then
light.
and then the light strike.
Yeah.
We'll see if she makes a change.
I look pretty solid there. Oh.
Great shot.
Great shot. Another bad result. So through 5, she's down 35 pins right now.
And right here, another good shot of Lindsay. And I rather said that when she was really at the release point. Lindsay has worked hard on making sure her hand stays behind that ball just a little bit longer before she gets around it. She likes to get around it. She's got a lot of axis rotation, and she has really worked on making sure she can get that ball a little more end over end to be able to control the pocket. And that was crucial for her this week in being successful.
Great conversion. So I wonder if she moved on the right lane. You think she did? Moved right a little bit? Because that one was flush. The other two were light.
Either that, or it looked like she might have even thrown it a little harder just to keep it in front of her a little bit more. We need to get our little lane mapping with our numbers on it.
Aaron, can you work on that?
Can you get that for us?
I'll see what I can do.
There we go. Looks like she hit that one a little bit. Give it a little bit extra juice. So she's got 35 left.
Yep. Looks like she got it down lane to about, she's a little left of that second tracer, but carrying the light hit. And as we've seen, really Julia and Jillian are the only two that really went high flush until Erin changed balls on that left lane. But the light hits have been carrying.
Mm-hmm. Oh, another great shot. See, to me, that one looked like she didn't have as much on it. I mean, it was just very, very soft at the bottom, but kept it in. So I was thinking it might not hit, but it just right now she's just got the perfect reaction.
Nope. Like Matt said in the beginning of this tournament, when they saw the transition and when she had to get in, she became a little uncomfortable because it forced her a little bit out of her norm. So what they did was they used, like we have been talking about, higher RG balls, manipulated the surface a little bit to allow her to bump just that little bit back to the right and be soft at the bottom and do her A game.
Another good shot.
Yep.
Help that a little bit? Yeah, I mean, she may have started from the bottom tonight as the 4 seed in first match, but again, she did have the high average for the week. So she's had the reaction across the house in all phases, to your point. So nothing to complain about there. All right. So it is a 44-pin lead for Julia, but with a couple of strikes here, Lindsay gets right back in this game.
Correct. These are some key shots. Need to put a little pressure on Julia. She obviously has had some games under her belt. So this would be the time to say, you know what? I'm here. I led. I won it.
I believe you mentioned digging deep today.
She has dug deep plenty of times to get herself to the show, and she's been knocking on the door. So you're right. This is the time where that definitely comes into play.
There it is. All right, picks up 10 right there.
Yep, soft at the bottom. Again, gets it a little bit right down lane, but carries the light hit.
Same process you heard. Deep breath.
Yep. Lindsay has worked the last few years, just talking to her, after some of her shows, she's worked hard on putting everything together and making it a process of being positive, having perspective, and really saying, you know what, I belong. I want a title. And I think I work hard enough and I want to go out and get it. She does belong here. You don't lead tournaments just on a whim.
Her best shot of the game right there. Back to a 24-pin lead. Again, she still has 2:35 left, 2:59 max for Julia. Great shot, perfect execution, and got the slap 10.
That one, her angles were much straighter, did not even get right of that tracer down lane. Could not ask for a better shot to apply some pressure. That's great.
You guys talked about digging deep for Lindsay. Looking at her previous TV appearances in the past on the PBA Tour, she's made it 5 times. Previous high game of 190. Wow. So it looks like she's going to surpass that here. But I think those shots big for her confidence, regardless of the win moving forward.
Wow.
Absolutely, 100%.
Oof.
Almost a 7-10 there.
Right, got the late tickle to knock it down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. The super slow-mo here to see what happened with the 7.
Yep.
Ooh, the 5 shoves it out.
Exactly.
Oof. That keeps the door open for Lindsay a little bit. Not a ton of room, but there's room.
There is.
I like it when we get some good photo finishes for a title.
Yeah, two and a half frames is a lot of frames when you're on TV.
Is this when it gets the most nerve-wracking as a player?
I think so, especially in the title match. I'll tell you, the only time I was not a score watcher. I really wasn't, because I could add it in my head. You know what your opponent has. Mm-hmm. I mean, well, I should say not everybody, because I don't know if the youth bowlers add as much as we did, but I could tell what the opponent had and where I was at. And the only time I really looked up is probably that 8th frame, because I felt, you're coming down to the wire. Just double check yourself in case you weren't right. But other than that, that's, it was all about just throwing good shots. Good shot. Ooh, looked good off her hand.
Yeah. That follows the ball. The last shot on that lane, they went a little bit high for a 9-pin. Mm-hmm. So looked like just a little bit more friction came into play there. She definitely got it left. She definitely had more on it, and it read quick. We got us a ball game now.
She doesn't have to bowl in that lane again, but I'd like to know if she made what move she made off that 9-pin, because that 9-pin was in a little bit and hooked. So, that might have been one of those 3-in-1s where you need to move a little more with your feet, because now there's obviously that little bit of friction.
So here's how it lays out. It's 222 max for Julia, 235 max for Lindsay. Lindsay can close it out, but she definitely needs this one to at least apply some more pressure for Julia. Oh, great shot.
Big shot there to set it up for the 10th. You can shut Julia out.
Yep. She took a 3-pin lead right there. So she goes 9 spare strike. Then she'll force Julia to double to win. Count's going to come into play. A lot of things come into play. But 2 strikes will get her name on a banner. Well, actually, 1 strike and 8 spare is going to get it on the banner.
Correct.
I think she got it in.
Just a little bit. Kept her ball speed up on it. Needs a spare.
Yeah, I don't think she liked it, but I think she liked the fact that it got
Nope.
9. I think she had designs on that being worse than that. But
Totally agree with you, Tony. I, missed just a little bit left, but again, she used her ball speed the last 2 days to her advantage. Got the 4-pin break out of it. Just needs to make the spare to force she makes the spare and strike. She forces Julia to double.
still in good condition right here.
Yep.
First things first, the 4-pin. Oof, all right. Good work there. Down is down, they say.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter.
You don't have to run over it. Just touch it. All right, so she needs a 9 count right here to force the double. We got a couple of photo finishes here, Carolyn. I like to see that.
I do. It makes it exciting. My hands are sweating again.
I know.
Oh, because it's her first title-ish. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's so cool. Like, you don't ever forget that one.
Oh, that's not good. 6 gives her
Well,
210.
7 or 6, I can't see.
6, 210. All right, so that makes it considerably easier for Julia. Now Julia needs the 19 in the 10th. Some kind of 19.
Some kind of 19.
Oh, that was a tough break for Lindsay.
Yeah, and I have to be honest with you, I was looking at the end reaction. I didn't really see if she missed a little left, but she did go high. And that lane probably is breaking down, but you're trying to just get the most count you can to put the pressure on. So
yeah. There it is. Perfect shot. She was very aggressive on that one.
she definitely had, I'm going to tell you right now, Matt McNeil called it. She used her speed to her advantage. That lane started to break down just a little bit. So whether she made a move, it might have been just minor. But that one, you are right, Tony. That one was full force aggressive.
9 on 2 balls for her first title. And the $10,000 first prize. Oh, I should be proud of that one. That was absolutely perfect. Both of them.
You couldn't throw it any better than that. Those were
Nope.
two perfect shots to
Yep.
win your first PWBA title.
Absolutely perfect.
She came in with a game plan. She was the high average for this event. She used her ball speed to her advantage. She used minor moves on the lane and used higher balls with surface that she said gave her the look she wanted.
Great finish. Really, really tough finish for Lindsay. I feel terrible for her on that. Not the way she wanted to finish.
Definitely not. It's just a bad break. She had the 7-10, early in the game, came back, made some key shots that put pressure on Julia. It just, the wave turned in Julia's favor.
And look at that packed house at the ITRC. 7 people go crazy.
All right, folks, we have Julia Bond, the winner of the 2021 PWBA Hall of Fame Classic, now joining us here. So let's bring her in. Julia Bond, you are a PWBA National Tour titleist. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
What did you think about those 2 shots in the 10th for the title right there?
Couldn't have thrown them better. I tried to be as calm as possible and put everything into those shots. So regardless of the outcome, I knew that the effort was there. And so the results just had to come.
Did you do anything different in the 10th or just try and be aggressive? From watching it looked like you just really aggressive on the first one and it was perfect.
Yep, that was exactly the plan. The right lane is the one that I felt the most comfortable at the time. The left lane, I started to just be, a little unsure. So the right lane, I didn't have to do too much. So that definitely was in my favor.
Yeah, I had talked to Matt a little bit during the week. You've used your ball speed to your advantage. What else did you really work on before you entered these events?
Again, ball speed was definitely a really, really big one. Like you said, there was times in my rookie season where, they would get so shimmed up, just from the ladies playing in the same spot. And so I really struggled with that wet dry. And so that balls, controlling my ball speed because, my revs aren't super high. So I kind of have to find other ways to kind of trick it a little bit. So speed was definitely a big component for me.
And I think we have another prize for you for just using the term shimmed up. I've been waiting all week for somebody to say shimmed up because there ain't nothing shimmed up at the ITRC. Made them look shimmed up in the 10th frame. So that's great. So all you bowlers, go Google shimmed up. Aaron, don't look it up. All right. So Julia, first time titleist, you won it in dramatic fashion and you earned it absolutely 100%. After you got the second one, the 10th, what went through your mind?
Finally.
Oh, that's great.
It's just, my rookie season was good. I had a lot to be proud of, but there was also a lot of things that I needed to work on. So, with COVID, putting a pause, that was definitely frustrating. So to work on those things and to learn and to come back and use those things and have, everything kind of come to fruition was really, really nice to see. Just super proud of myself and very happy.
You should be.
I think it's awesome to watch. You're super simple, and I mean that in such an awesome way. We've talked about it. You don't have to hook the lane this much, and you proved tonight that making the simplest adjustments and using some of your strengths can lead to a national title. Again, another star for the future. You're going to see her in the winner's circle again.
Thank you, Carolyn.
Now, CB, I want to go back to something you said during the match, and you felt that Julia was going to be able to play her A game throughout the course of the Stepladder as the lanes transition. And Julia, did you feel you were kind of in command of that A game throughout the course of the entire run?
Oh, for sure. Definitely to start, I am very good at playing tight angles. That's something that I've always been comfortable with. And then again, that was good for the first maybe, 2 games, maybe a game and a half. Really towards the end of the second game, my ball started getting a little lazy, I thought. So I kind of had to bail on that plan. But with all the things that I've been working on and having the lanes open up, again, I'm also comfortable doing that, having just a small, just opening up. And so I definitely felt like, it was just a matter of just good shot making and being patient with myself.
Excellent. Oh, great advice there. Being patient with yourself. And by the way, I also made another comment, and you will remember this 10 years from now. You will never forget this night.
Oh, 100%. You're right.
Hey, do you have any shout outs you'd like to give?
Yes, of course. I would like to thank Storm, Turbo, and Chameleon Sportswear for, all the equipment to make me feel the best on the lanes. I definitely appreciate all the support. I like to thank my parents, Daniel and Sonia. Without you guys, I wouldn't be here. And, you know that I'll tell you that all day long. Also, my boyfriend, Andrew, who's not a bowler, but he's been keeping an eye on the scores. So I'm very proud of him and very happy that he's been doing that. And just all my friends here, times are weird, but for all of us to come together, and again, big shout out to the PWBA for how they, and in the ITRC, it was definitely a team effort to come together and be committed to the plans and the protocols that we have. So really, without all those people, we wouldn't be here. So thank you.
Excellent. Well said.
All right, Julia. Well, we will let you celebrate that win. And I have to ask, how's that for an early birthday present?
Oh my goodness, I even forgot about that. I turned 25 on the 28th, and thank you. Yes, that is. I don't need anything now. Like this is.
So you said you turned 25?
Yep, I'm turning 25.
So you can finally rent a car.
I know, that's something that we've been talking about.
There you go.
I'm excited. I was talking to Sydney Brumman. We were talking about, because her birthday's 2 days after mine, and she was talking about renting a car just for fun, just to do it, just because we can.
Well, make sure it's a Ford Mustang.
Done. Good advice. Done.
There we go. Well, Julia, congratulations once again for winning the PWBA Hall of Fame Classic, your first national tour title in impressive fashion. Congrats. Enjoy the night, and we can't wait to see you again on the PWBA tour.
Thank you so much, guys.
Congrats.
Congrats.
Thank you.
All right, Tony, Carolyn.
Yes, we did it.
We did. Just so pleased to get a new titleist.
I love it.
See new talent, get the opportunity and get it done. They're out there. They're ready to go. You could tell by those two shots. I mean, she threw 1,000 good shots tonight, but the 2 in the 10th, I mean, they were perfect.
They were perfect. Look, if you're going to, she said it perfect. You had to get out there and give it your all. I mean, you have to mark, right? You have to fill a frame. So you can't hesitate. You have to give it your all. And she did. And it was perfect. Just perfect.
I was expecting, Aaron, what do you think? I was expecting to see and hear a little bit more emotion from her after getting the title, but she walked over and spoke so confidently and no break in the voice, nothing, just total confidence and acceptance. That is somebody who is ready to win and was expecting to win.
Right.
She's had that success. Looking back to junior gold in 2013, has had success in Junior Team USA, collegiate. So she's hit all the stepping stones getting up there. We do have Lindsay Boobershine joining us next, so we're going to get a chance to talk to Lindsay. So Lindsay, welcome back to the show.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Lindsay.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay. I'll start. Lindsay, okay. I think you bowled great. You bowled great this whole entire event. I mean, all 3 events, the series, whatever they're calling it, right? You left the 7-10 on the left lane, and then you made great shots. First thing I'd like to know is, what did you do? Did you move, just cut down on your angles? What did you actually do to create the look you needed?
I just tried to roll it more because that's what I've been doing all week. I didn't want to give the pocket away. The first one in the 10th was a little slow. I got a little around it, but I thought I was going to hold. That's what I played all week, was the hold. I didn't play the hook. So I really wanted the first one. But, I mean, no joking aside, but this is funny. I mean, I didn't miss a spare, and I didn't shoot 130. So,
right.
Here we go. Okay.
So this is a positive. We're moving on. Well, because my follow-up question, now that you've kind of said that, on the fill shot, did you move off the 4-pin, or did you think you just threw it harder? What was going through your mind? Because did you look at the score?
I did. Yeah.
Okay. So what was your thought process?
Well, I didn't want to give away the head pin. I didn't want to get 6, but I did move because that lane 9 has been hooking earlier all week. I didn't want to give it too much away, and I should have moved more. I think now knowing that, and that was my error. I moved 2, and I just kind of wanted to keep it at the 1-3 because I knew that she'd have to get count. But like I said, I really wanted that first one because I knew that was putting me in the 220s, and that she would have to double. So at that point, I didn't want to get 6, obviously, but I wanted to just not give the head pin away. That's been my mentality all week because it's 41 feet. There were so many 2-2s, across the lane that if you gave it away at all, it was say Livy. So that was kind of my whole thing. And like I said, I should have moved more.
I think you both great. I think you're throwing it great. I think everything you've worked on and put it all together. We talked about it. Your mental game, you're being positive. You're putting things in perspective. It is coming there. And I've told you this before. Just keep knocking on the door.
Yeah. No,
it'll swing open.
Yeah, it's disappointing, but this is a great start to the year, especially for the season. I finished 6th, 7th, and 2nd. So, there's nothing really to hang my head on.
Right.
But it's still hard, I guess.
Right. No, you did great. It's a great start to the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the big takeaways were the 4 strikes to finish the game. The 8th and 9th frames were absolutely perfect. Slapped the 10 on both those shots. So, I think that's probably hopefully the big takeaway. And kind of just going back to that, what exactly were the changes that you made in maybe those frames? Because it seemed like you did get it up the lane more, but you really hit those 2 shots too.
Yeah, all week I wasn't really trying to. I usually my A game is a lot of access rotation. I get around it, but on this pattern there wasn't any free hook to the right like the previous 2 patterns. So I really tried to just take a little bit of hand out of it, and close down my angles and really try to roll it to try to get the 10 out. I thought the 7-10 was a pretty good shot. So, I didn't want to dwell on that for too long just because I knew it was only the 4th frame and I had the rest of the match. It was a bad break, but, I wish I would have had the opportunity to, make a spare. So, at this point, it just is what it was. Right. And I played my game. I stuck to, everything that Matt and Jim were telling me, and I try to breathe, make good shots, and stick to my process. And, I did that. So, it's, I think it's a good takeaway, but, also, to be real, a disappointment because, this was, I put a lot of hard work in, and I'm hoping that eventually I will get to win on a national level because I'm definitely not getting any younger. So, I was the oldest person on my pair, almost every game. I'm like,
oh, you will.
So, what I'm saying? I used to be the youngest person, and it's so inspiring, especially what Jillian's done all week. And Julia went to the same university that I did, University of Nebraska. So I knew she's been a great player, and I'm glad that Team Storm won. And if I'm not winning, I want someone on our team to win. Yep. So I'm really proud of her for the game that she bowled, and hopefully next time, I'll knock enough pins down to come out on top.
I love it. Great attitude. Great attitude.
Lindsay, you talked about all the hard work, and we've seen it this week. I think you were overall, in my opinion, the top performer this week. You didn't come away with a victory, but you impressed every single day of the 7-day event. And you talked about it's time for you, and I 100% agree that 2021 is going to be your year. So I cannot wait to see you continue this streak of great performances. And like Carolyn said, like Tony said, it's going to happen, and I can't wait to potentially be the one to interview you when that happens. So I'm looking forward to that moment, and just a fantastic week overall, and we can't wait to see you in April.
Yeah, I can't wait, and I'm just gonna not be super sad about any of this because, like I said, I I shot over 200. So, I mean, I'm like 70 points in the bonus.
I was thinking of that because I remember talking to you after your game. Do you remember? You came into the bar, right? I was watching you on the big screen and we were chit-chatting. And I'm going to leave you on a positive note also. When you texted me today, you said staying present, positive, and productive. And I think you did all of that.
Yeah.
So keep doing it. I'm telling you, the door is going to open. And it's going to be a double door. And that means it's even bigger. There you go.
I hope so. Thank you so much, guys. Thank
All
you.
right, thanks, Lindy.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. We have concluded the Hall of Fame Classic and the Kickoff Classic Series. We are done with bowling after 7 days, 3 national tour titles, regional title. It's all come to fruition here. Just an incredible week of bowling. The PWBA Tour is back in 2021, and I want to thank both of you two for joining us here. For the fans out there, me being one of them, I just enjoyed the insight, the banter. It was great. You guys were phenomenal, and thank you for being a part of this.
No, thanks for asking. This is great. It's nice when you know your counterpart.
Absolutely. I had a ton of fun. I've always wanted to do this, and so pleased to get the opportunity to do it with Carolyn. Was the only way I would want to do it. So thank you, Carolyn.
Thank you, Tony.
You too, Aaron. You too, Aaron.
Thank you, Aaron. You keep forgetting about Aaron.
I
That's
definitely
okay.
did not forget about Aaron
No.
at all.
All right, folks. We have so many people to thank for the past 7 days, but obviously the staff at the ITRC and the PWBA staff who was inside the bubble environment throughout the course of the week. Just thank you to them for their hard work, their dedication, taking time to step away from their families and friends to be a part of this. We just appreciate the effort every one of you put in so much. So for Tennille Milligan, Rob Gottschall, Caitlin Nelson, Nick Harishny, Lou Marquez, Cecil Scarborough, Jason Thomas, Mike Flanagan. Just thank you so much for all your help. Of course, the athletes for competing this week. Just a shout out to the whole team who helped out. We mentioned JT. Can't leave out Kim Richter as well. Mike doing all his cool stuff. Andrew Salaveria. We got so many other folks who I'm not remembering right now, but they're also
the entire crew. The entire crew, right?
The entire crew, and I can't leave off without my guy Matt Cannizzaro. So he's been here with me throughout the course of the week. So big thanks to Matt as well. I know he's listening right now, so he's enjoying that. But for Tony, Carolyn, I'm Aaron Smith. Folks, we are signing off from the PWBA Kickoff Classic Series. We are here. It happened, and it was safe. So kudos once again to everyone, USBC, BPAA for making that happen. But we're going to call it a night. We're going to enjoy crowning champions the rest of 2021. So look forward to it right here on Bowl TV. And folks, remember on Bowl TV, bowling lives here. Have a great night, and we'll see you soon.